Our goal in this program is to familiarize you with the official Wilmington Police uniforms and cruisers. A distinctive left arm patch, clearly identified by the words Wilmington Police, is a part of the patrolman's uniform. On the right arm, each uniformed police officer proudly wears the American flag. This patch symbolizes the strong bond between the United States laws and our own Wilmington Police Department. Over the heart of the Wilmington uniformed officer is the official badge, which has the Massachusetts state seal in the center, as does the badges, patches, and the emblem located on the driver's side of all Wilmington cruisers. In addition, the badge on the hat bears the patrolman's identification number. Number 22 is on the hat of Officer Joseph Harris. Another distinctive part of the uniform is the WPD collar brass, which is worn on both sides of the shirt collar. The working part of the uniform is carried on the patrolman's belt. The officer is well equipped with a police radio, a 9mm automatic with 2 clips, handcuffs, rubber gloves, keys, and capstun, which is the pepper spray that has proven to be very effective but not harmful. The police radio can be used to communicate with all Wilmington cruisers and police radios on a single channel. Other channels can be used to communicate with the 16 surrounding towns that are also members of the Northeast Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council, commonly referred to as NEMLEC. The Wilmington Police Cruiser is clearly marked with a Massachusetts state seal, the word police, a variety of lights, and the police emergency number, which will be changing in the not-too-distant future to the statewide 911 emergency number. Each cruiser has a variety of siren sounds to alert other drivers to the police presence. When drivers hear the sirens of police vehicles, they should pull over to the right side of the road until the vehicle has safely passed. The Massachusetts state seal on the cruiser door displays an Indian carrying a bow and arrows, which are pointing down as a sign of peace. The front end push bar is used to move a vehicle which is blocking traffic or is somehow in the way of pedestrian or vehicular movement. The cruiser is supplied with plenty of warning lights. The lights in the rear of the cruiser indicate in no uncertain terms that the police are on the scene. Drivers and pedestrians should approach and pass with caution and not interfere with the officer and his duties.
Wilmington to car 32. Larry, that you?
The interior of the front of the cruiser is installed with specialized high-technology equipment. The mobile data terminal is a computer very much like the data terminal at the main Wilmington Police Station, located on Adelaide Street. It is used to check the status of driver's licenses, motor vehicle registrations, and warrant information. If there is a problem with any of these, the police officer will confirm the information with the main station before making a roadside arrest. The radar unit is used to check the speed of vehicles traveling along the road. The plexiglass and metal cage, which separates the rear passengers from the driver, serves to protect the officer from unruly persons. Also, the back doors of the cruiser have no inside handles, so persons placed in the rear of the cruiser are unable to exit on their own. From the cruiser radio, the officer can contact all other cruisers, the Wilmington Police Station, and the 16 surrounding towns who are members of NEMLEC. The front seat of the cruiser contains all the equipment needed for the officer to work effectively in emergency and/or non-emergency situations. As a certified first responder, the officer is also equipped for rescue and/or medical situations. In the cruiser trunk, there is a first aid kit, emergency flares, a rope, and a life preserver.
Talk to you about the individuals involved because he thinks that they're not employees of one Continental and he'd like to give him a call. He's at the trailer.
Since the plainclothes detective drives an unmarked car, it is difficult to immediately identify him as a police officer. However, similar to the uniformed patrolman, the detective carries the tools of his trade on his belt. Each detective carries at least one badge with him, and he will show his ID and badge to you as a means of identification. This badge and picture ID identify Detective Michael Salata. If you are approached by a plainclothes detective, you have the right to ask him to identify himself with his badge and picture ID. Since the plainclothes detective does not have the clear identification symbols of the uniformed officer and cruiser, Wilmington detectives seldom approach a vehicle or citizen without calling a uniformed officer to the scene. If a uniformed officer is not on the scene and you have reason to question the identity of the detective, you may ask for a uniformed police officer to be dispatched. Since it is important for the police to take charge, and there were real concerns which caused him to approach you in the first place, your questions should be in the form of a request, not a demand. It is important to remember that the continuous concern of the Wilmington Police Department is to maintain a safe community environment for all citizens. Please send any questions, comments, or ideas for this series to Wilmington Police, care of Community Policing, Adelaide Street, Wilmington, Mass. 01887.